Today, I'm delighted to be joined by Ian Smith of Hambleton Lakeside Lodges. How are you, Ian? You okay, mate?
I'm all right, thank you. Yeah, nice to see you again.
So the reason I've got Ian down today is because he's got a very sort of unique perspective on sort of holiday lodge parks in terms of, you've been involved in sort of every facet of the business, haven't you?
Yes.
The good and the bad.
The good and the bad. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Which is unique in terms of you sourced the land originally.
Yeah.
You obviously engaged with us to get in the planning.
Yeah.
You designed and manufactured your own lodges.
Yeah, we came up with the design. We use a company who we knew before to now make them for us, but we worked together really.
And you project managed, got involved in the construction side of it, so the actual development of the roads, bases, infrastructure.
Yeah.
And now you've even decided that it's a great idea to run a day-to-day management yourself.
Yeah.
So you're somewhat of a jack of all trades, doing everything.
Yeah. I mean, with regards to running the park, obviously, I wanted to be involved from the start anyway, because obviously this is our project. You know, no one looks after their own project better than yourself.
So you're attention seeking.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, sourced the land obviously back in 2018.
Yeah. How did you come up? Is it always been something you wanted to do? What was the sort of background to it?
I'll be honest with you. I'm an electrician by trade, obviously. I then went out working in the Middle East, specialised in facility management for over 10 years. Yeah. On some lots of different projects. I used to come back obviously to the UK and I used to stay in lodges. Yeah. And I used to sit there sometimes and think, do you know what? This is quite a good business model.
Okay.
So when I came back, I didn't want to set up again as an electrical contractor. So I started looking at different things. Yeah. Mainly existing caravan stroke lodge parks and land. Yeah. And one thing I always remember from being aboard, obviously in a desert environment, it was always nice to come back and stay in a lodge and see all the greenery and everything. We forget when we live like ourselves in a rural area, we're used to seeing all this, whereas a lot of people who live in towns and cities, they don't see it. Yeah. So we take that for granted. And I just thought, it'd be nice to have a lodge park. Yeah. But what attracts people to a lodge park, a lot of the time it's water. Yeah. So I started looking at fisheries as well, because obviously the lake's already in place, the fish are already in the pond, so it saves a lot of time and a lot of work. And I looked all over the country. I came and looked at this place that we're at now. Yeah. And at the time I thought, it was too expensive for what they were asking for. Mm-hmm. And a year later, I got a phone call to say they were willing to drop slightly on the price. And the rest is history. Yeah.
And you went for just a straightforward sale purchase.
Yes. Yeah. I took a massive risk. I took a huge risk. Everyone thought I was crazy.
Just for the benefit, Ian took no professional advice in terms of what he can do, whether he could get lodges before purchasing, which turned out quite well for you in the end, but I would never advise that. It was rogue, isn't it? It was a bold decision.
I mean, knowing what I know now, and I mean, yourself, Jake, it took a long time to get planning approved. Yeah. And I understood why, but obviously now we're up and running. Yeah. The benefits for external businesses, for our clients and our guests that stay here, the money they spend in the local area now is fantastic.
Yeah. But just take us back. So you purchased it. What, in terms of did anyone, like, I know you've mentioned it, but did anyone have, like, what were people saying? Do people think that,
I was crazy. Yeah. Absolutely crazy. I've said this to you before. I remember my mum, unfortunately she's passed away now, but she thought I was absolutely mental. Yeah. My friends thought I was mental, I'll be honest with you. And
the caveat is I also thought a little bit.
But if you don't take the risk, you don't know, do you? But
Yeah.
but looking back now, yeah, I was crazy for doing it. You learn a lot as you go on, don't you? To be honest with you, but
so the site that Ian actually purchased, which was was interesting when we got the phone call to come down and obviously meet with him and the guys. Obviously, site's in a flood zone 3, which is as most people would know, it makes it slightly trickier.
Yeah.
And obviously countryside location. It was an interesting conversation we had originally, wasn't it? When we met down here and we were sort of...
Yeah, well, I was full of dreams, wasn't I? I was totally full of dreams, and to me, I just thought, we'll get planning, it will all be great. Get the lodges on site and off we go. But obviously we hit a lot of hurdles along the way. Yeah. And knowing now what I know, obviously it's not quite as simple as that. No,
it wasn't. But I think obviously from my point of view, and obviously came down, met yourselves, and we had the discussion, and I think the biggest thing for me, one of the biggest things was obviously you've purchased the land now, so that was the thing of right, would I have ever advised you to buy it? That's a potentially another. But we were in at that point, so it was a case of right, setting out to you. This is the actual, where we are. It's not going to be straightforward, but setting up the model to sort of go forward in terms of this is, what we're thinking. This is how we think we can get around it. Because obviously, we need to plug into your business model as well. So you guys had an idea of how you want this to run. So we needed to sort of blend that with planning. But then we had a good 8 months time at Wire Council.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was good, Jake. I wouldn't say it was good at all.
Yeah, no, it was an interesting time. We had a lot of time on the phone, didn't we? And a lot of back and forth. But the concern, to get the ball and planning better of the way, but the concern for the council was that issue of I still think deep down they wanted it. In some ways, they wanted this site, considering how close it was to the settlement, they wanted the site to be developed. I think that was the core point.
I think the thing is the council, or all councils throughout the country, are being told to bring tourism into the area. Yeah. Okay, because tourism, when you think about it, guests want for nothing. Yeah. So they don't need doctors, they don't need dentists, they don't need schools. So they're coming in and they're spending money in the short time they're here. Where's that money going? The majority of that money is going in pubs, restaurants, takeaways, and the local shops, which is great for the local economies. There's no doubt about it. And where we are here, situated here, we've got pubs, takeaways, restaurants, and everything within. The pub's a 2-minute walk away. Mm-hmm. I mean, the local pub here, the Shovels, we get that many guests going in there now that they actually give our guests a 10% discount. Yeah. So it's been fantastic for the local businesses. Yeah. And, you can't lose, can you really?
During the process there, at any point, did you think...
we weren't going to get it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I did. There's no doubt about it. Nothing's guaranteed, is it? No. And that's when reality kicks in, because even though you have a dream, that dream could be cut short
quite very swiftly, quickly. Can't it?
And I understand people in the local areas, especially locals and neighbours, don't like change. No. I get that, but I know what our model was going to be. You've seen the site now, the lodges look fantastic. It's neat, it's tidy, and it's just a nice place to be.
Yeah, nice. So obviously we gain the planner, so you've got the planner now.
Yes.
And we move into obviously the next phase.
Yeah.
Talk me through that. Was that when you were like, this will be the easy bit?
If I'm honest with you, because to me, once you've got planning over the line, then it's down to just you or us, should I say. So, I've got a background, I'm an electrician by trade, I've worked in construction, facility management. My business partners, or one of the business partners, is a groundworks company. So between us all, we've done all the work ourselves. We knew exactly what we were doing. Where it got a bit difficult at the beginning was we ordered 4 lodges from one of the large lodge manufacturers in the UK.
Yeah.
And that was just before COVID. And it was a 12-week waiting time from order to delivery. After COVID, we went to order another 4 lodges to find out that the order time had gone from 12 weeks to 4 years, which was a major...
It's not great for your cash flow.
No, which was a major issue because obviously we needed lodges in to start getting some money back.
Yeah.
So that's when we decided to speak to Form, who we knew anyway, about possibly working together and building our own lodges.
Yeah.
So we went to the National Caravan Council, got our plans approved, and we now build, or Form build, the lodges for us at our yard just down the road. So that was an issue, but looking back now, it was probably the best thing that happened. Yeah. Because now we can build our own lodges, which are built to a much better quality, you know. They will last a lot longer. And for the business itself, you know, they're just a nice product.
Yeah. And they'll be unique to you as well, obviously.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they're unique to us, you know. They're not cheap. They cost a lot of money, lodges, and the deckings, the skirts and the hot tubs. But with regards to the groundworks and all the utilities and all the rest of it, it's expensive.
Yeah. Have you noticed, since obviously, what's it been, 5 years now since you've...
5 years since we opened.
Have you noticed a change? Because obviously you've done it phased, so have you noticed a change construction-wise, cost-wise?
Cost-wise, yeah. Costs of materials now compared to when we started are up nearly 40%. Yeah. You know.
But that's something you don't necessarily always realise, do you? You know, you set out a business plan, and this is where I think we've certainly seen people just can't believe it. You know, because let's say planning like it took with us 8 months.
Yeah.
We do a business plan, set out all the costs, and we put in a construction cost, which at the time is perfectly legitimate. Everyone gets all the funding based on that, ready to go. 8 months passes, and like you said, maybe not going to be 40%, but even a 20%, a 10%. You know,
everything, the cost of everything now. You know, your timbers, your insulation. I mean, we spray foam all our lodges. You know, which lodge manufacturers don't do. You know, I mean, so we plasterboard all our lodges. You know, we have them plastered, we OSB board, so we do them a much higher spec. But that's because then they'll last longer. But even massive expensive of what you bury in the ground. Yeah,
of course.
You know, you've got your gas installation, you've got your water installation, you've got your sewage, you've got your electrical cables. I mean, it's expensive. Yeah. We've been very lucky because obviously we've been able to do all the work ourselves. Yeah. You know, which in some respects has saved us a fortune.
Not massively, yeah.
You know, on getting contractors in to do all the work for us, because I dread to think how much contractors would charge, you know, to do something like this. And the problem with something like this is you've got a massive outlay at the beginning. It's not a staggered outlay, because your utilities and all your services, which are buried in the ground, have to be in place before you can do anything.
Yeah, of course.
You know, so yeah, it's expensive.
How did you, because obviously you've not come from necessarily this sort of background, in terms of, because I'm correct in saying you're part of the host seasons, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah. In terms of the platforms and all, obviously to you now it'll seem quite, but how did you, you know, was it quite an easy process that to learn? Or
yeah, I mean, host scenes are fantastic, I'll be honest with you. There's a lot of holiday companies out there that we could have gone to. I think host seasons is definitely the largest one now. Yeah. You know, even though we're on host seasons platform, host seasons are linked to so many other companies now. I mean, Booking.com, Airbnb.
So do they manage that for you? Or how?
They manage all our bookings for us. Yeah. I mean, obviously I have a lot of input on the bookings. Yeah. You know, and you know, things that you don't really think about. So for example, repeat guests will phone me up and say, can I change the lodge number I'm in to a lodge I've stayed in before? Yeah. But with regards to the initial bookings, that's done via Whole Seasons platform.
Right, okay.
We have a link, obviously, to the platform for us. And yeah, I mean, you couldn't do without, because what you've got to remember is, even though obviously, you know, you're paying for that service, but Whole Seasons have such a vast coverage now of the UK holiday market. If you as a business was to do it yourself, you'd be spending millions.
Yeah, of course. So just
on advertising.
Yeah. Can you just give us a bit of an a up-to-date insight into the UK holiday market? What's it like at the moment? Has there been any changes?
Good. You know, there's been massive changes in it. Even in the we've been open now for 4 years this December.
Yeah.
Majority of bookings now are coming through as a 4-day midweek or a 3-day weekend.
Why is that? What's checking?
I think just now because people don't have the money available like they used to. Mm-hmm. You know, in the situation and the climate we're living in now. Mm-hmm. So people are booking a 4-day break or a 3-day break. People definitely aren't going abroad as much.
No.
And I also think with regards to lodges is people are not staying in hotels like they used to. I mean, especially at weekends, you tend to find that you're getting groups of people.
Right, yeah.
Well, of course, you get a group of people to come and stay in a lodge. It's a lot cheaper.
Yeah, of course.
Than staying in a hotel. You know, because you're not paying for the amount of people that come in. You're paying for the lodge.
Yeah.
You know, so we have a mixture of 3-bedroom and 2-bedroom lodges, and we weren't sure at the time whether a 3-bed lodge would be popular.
Yeah.
But they are. You know, they're as popular as the 2-bed lodges. So you get a lot of groups of people coming here. You know, I've got friends who are in the hotel industry, and a lot of them have said, you know, they've been, over the last couple of years, they've noticed a big drop in bookings.
Yeah.
You know, and for us, it's been phenomenal, but we're very lucky in some respects. You know, the business is doing very well. But then also we've put a lot of work in to hopefully bring the clients in.
Yeah. So we've sort of gone through the purchase, the sort of like the construction in some ways, the lodges now. So the bit that I'm almost more intrigued about is this day to day. Obviously you're on site now managing these. So what is it? You know, for someone now thinking, I want to do this. This is the business I want to do. I want to set up. If they are going to take on your role, which I'm not sure, I don't know. Yeah. Come on, talk me through it. What's the day to day? What's the plan?
So the 2 busiest days for us, obviously, or for me, is every Monday and every Friday, because they're the days that check-outs and check-ins. You know, so guests are meant to be out by 10 o'clock, but obviously we do have a few people that tend to lie in. But then obviously the first thing we need to do is get the cleaners in.
Yeah.
You know, cleaners are imperative on a project like this.
Yeah.
You know, to me, they're the most important staff, because if you don't have good cleaners, then they're just so important.
Yeah.
You know, we're lucky. We have a cleaning company that we use. We subcontract the cleaning out, and they're phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. So, you know, I'll mention their name. They're SJ Eco Clean. They're a local company.
Yeah.
And the beauty, of course, of that as well is they employ local people.
Yeah.
You know, so again, it's bringing more money into the area. So there's the cleaning to be done, but then, of course, we've got hot tubs. Every lodge has got a hot tub.
Yeah. Your favourite, aren't they? I love a comment. Every few weeks, me and Ian have and it's normally just cleaning out the hot tubs where we have a phone call, and it's an absolute corker. Yeah, it's your favourite job, yeah?
They're the vein of my life, I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah, they are what they are, but you've got to have them, you know. I mean, I always smile when people arrive and they're literally they're in the hot tub within 2 or 3 minutes of arriving.
Yeah. Bags aren't even.
Which, you know, and it's lovely to see. Yeah. I was only saying this to you earlier, wasn't it? I said that I've been here since when I first bought the land, you know, and it was a rundown fishery. And to see the lodges now and where we are now, and see last weekend was a beautiful day. You know, everyone's out on the deckings, people are fishing, people in the hot tubs. It's lovely to see.
Yeah,
you know, it's nice.
Yeah, well, that's all the pain and suffering you've been.
Yeah, I mean, no one knows that, you know, but that's when you think to yourself, it's worthwhile, you know, it's worth doing. So you got check-ins, check-outs every Monday, Friday. That's Mondays and Fridays taken care of because, you know, you've got all the jobs, you've got a lot of maintenance jobs to do.
Right, okay, yeah.
Unfortunately, in the industry, in the holiday industry, and it's something I never imagined it would be so bad, you do get a lot of damage.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately, not everybody.
Do people take stuff?
Yes, they do. Yeah, I mean...
I do like the little shampoos when you go there.
So I mean, to be honest with you, we provide the welcome packs. As far as I'm concerned, you know, if they're not used, they can take them. You know, I don't expect them still to be here, to be honest with you. But I mean, the usual things that get taken obviously is your bathrobes, your towels. Yeah. I mean, the funniest things it amazes me when people take batteries out of the remote controls, lamps. People take lamps out of light fittings. We've had high chairs taken. We've had table lamps taken. But the best one ever, we have a welcome pack in each lodge, which just tells people about the area and what's local. And everything's in plastic wallets, and somebody decided to take all the plastic wallets and leave the paperwork. So it's been an eye-opener, mate. Yeah.
In terms of obviously the challenges from a sort of construction operation side of it, what was that one thing? There must be one thing where you think I either wasn't expecting it or I was expecting it, and actually when I did it, that turned out to be sort of a lot more challenge, whether it didn't even need to be sort of maybe significant, you know, it could have been something you thought was going to be quite minor, but actually when you got to it, you went, we didn't even think of that. And what
planning. I've got to say planning, mate, to be honest with you, because it's totally out of your control. You know, I knew our vision, so what we see now was our vision. It was a vision which I knew we could achieve, but we can't achieve anything unless we get planning. I always thought there wouldn't really be an issue with it. Obviously, it takes a lot longer than what you expect. The cost of it, obviously, is a lot longer. And, you know, I'll be honest with you, Jay, you know, we've obviously known each other for quite a few years now because obviously you did the planning for us. To anyone who is going to try and go down the route of planning, I'd definitely say make sure you get the right company to do it for you. You know, because I searched for a lot of people before obviously we met. You know, I'm glad we came to you.
I bet you weren't saying that midway through. I bet you thinking, how do I eject out?
Well, to be honest with you, I mean...
He's useless, that guy from Gas.
You must have sighed every time your phone rang with my name popping up because, you know...
I knew what a battle we had so we got the planning and it had been, you know, it'd been a rough ride, and I got a phone call from another planning agent called, I'm just going to say her first name for that, I'm not sure what legally we're allowed to say, but she's called Jane, and I used to pay Jane when I was first starting out to come in and give me some, specifically around enforcement stuff. She's very, very good. And she rang and said, I had a pre-app on that land, and the council said, under no circumstances will that be developed. How on earth have you done it? And I remember getting that phone call, and obviously I talked her through a bit of what we'd done, and I remember thinking, oh my God,
you've achieved it.
But I think we got a very good planning officer, I'll be honest, in Rob. He is very tough and he's very hard, but we got a good planning officer who can balance. He could see the fact that what you've just described, there's going to be massive improvements for the pub employment. It's a rundown fishery. He could see that. What we had to prove to him is that we could get it to work policy-wise, and there was a lot of back and forth. But he was willing to listen. You know, I had hours with him on the phone, day and day. What he came back with some further information, and we came back and forth. And then when we got to a point, you know, we got that email. When I was away in the lakes, we got that email to say that, you know, following on balance. And that's the thing that I think people really need to understand, that you do not buy planning permission. It's a balance. And
not at all.
He, and credit to Wyatt now, because I think you do come down here now and you think, they could have easily took a line. And I think had they refused it, I'm not sure whether an inspectorate would have changed their mind, because they were entitled to make a decision.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you, mate, the amount of people who've come to me over the last few years and said to me, from driving along the main road, I mean, obviously this time of year you can't see it at all because of all the hedging. But in winter, and they come across, and the amount of people have said to me, seeing this before you come into the village, it looks amazing.
Compared to what it was
Compared to what it was,
I think a lot of it as well is, what is someone's genuine intention? So we look at a plan application, you can say lodges, but what is there? Are they just going to get loads of complaints from this? Is it going to be a nightmare? And they do, there's a sort of, a calculated risk that you would take. But equally, that comes down to the information that we provided. So the detailed business plan that we did, setting out, we had to demonstrate to them. And that again comes back to having a good quality plan officer, which we did in this one, in terms of being able to take that on board, in terms of, he made us prove it. Yeah. Because, he was coming on the journey with us. And, but Rob must drive past this site now and think, I made a good decision there. Yeah,
hopefully he will, but it's like I just said to you, I see things a lot differently now, having been through this whole journey. Even though, for me, I knew what my intention was with this site and what I was looking for it to look like aesthetically, planning don't actually know that. No. So even when they say, yes, okay, go ahead, it is still a bit of a risk for them.
No.
And because I wanted it, you don't really see it from their perspective.
No.
I mean, like you just said, and people have said it to me now, when they drive into the village now, the first thing they see is this place. The amount of people have said to me, it looks fantastic. But that's not always going to be the case, is it, with some people who've managed to secure planning?
No, definitely. And it comes back to us as well, from a business perspective. We want the, obviously, good quality developments, because and we, in some ways, we can guide it a little bit, but we're kind of almost in a similar boat to planning in a way. We kind of get the permission and then we go, I really hope, because equally, and I'll be honest, we've done maybe more on the residential side, but we've got residentials like an outline planning past, and then the development that's come forward hasn't been to a standard that we would necessarily be happy with. And the problem is, then we are tarnished in some way because they go, that's Jake's development. And it goes, well, it is in some ways. And so I have some sympathy with the planners, and I do think that's why Rob, he gave us a hard time, but he was critical to make sure this was right. And I think, like I said, I do think he got the decision right. However, I keep going back to it was a balance. And had he come on the other side and decided, with the flooding and the other bits, that he wasn't happy with it, I am not sure an inspector would have overturned it, because I think he was entitled to make a balanced decision. And I do think it was a knife edge, hence why, Ian, you rolled. You rolled the dice.
Yeah, my heart skipped a beat when I go, yes.
So right, there must be you must have a funny guest story for us. You must have, what's your favourite guest story?
Mate, I've got hundreds.
You must have a couple.
I mean, I'll be professional.
Unlike you.
Unlike me, some of the phone calls. So what have I had? I got a phone call at 11 o'clock, 11:30 at night. One thing I've not really said is, I mean, you asked me this before about what a standard week is. What you've got to remember is we're offering a service to guests, so we have a lot of people staying in the lodges. You get a lot of phone calls off people, off guests. And they are all days, all times of day and night, even 2-3 o'clock in the morning. Things happen.
Of course.
So, of course, you're on call 24/7. I remember a couple, I had a phone call at 11:30 at night off a guest asking me if they could use the hot tub in the rain. And obviously, you know,
what is it? Because you have to be professional.
You have to be professional, yeah. So obviously my reply was, yeah,
yes,
why? And he went, well, it's electric. I didn't think you'd be able to.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah, I was professional and said, yes, you can. I had a guest once, so our lodges have wine coolers in.
Nice.
And they have a digital display of the temperature. I had a guest once ring me and said, if I want it, it's on 12 degrees at the moment.
Yeah, yeah.
If I want it colder, do I put it up to 13 or down to 11? that made me laugh.
Yeah.
I think the funniest thing I've ever seen here is obviously we have the lakes and we have the fishing here.
Yeah, yeah.
And I remember one day there was, we have a guy comes and stays here for 2 weeks every year.
Yeah.
He lives in a static caravan park.
Yeah.
Near Southport, and that shuts down for 2 weeks of the year.
Yeah, yeah.
So when it shuts down, him and his wife come stay here. Lovely couple. And he loves his fishing. And I remember being stood near reception, and I could see he was reeling something on his rod, and it had a nice bend on it. So I remember thinking, well, I'll just stand and I'll just watch that for a minute. And then he started reeling it out of the water, and it was yellow, and I thought, what the heck's that? And it works out he'd caught a DeWalt drill. And when we were doing the lodges and the deckings on one of the new lodges in the winter,
Yeah, yeah.
the joiner who was building the deckings had dropped his drill on the lake, but it was frozen over. And he couldn't get to it. So in the end, it sunk when the ice defrosted, and this guest caught it. It was funny. Yeah, it was fantastic when you saw it, but yeah.
Showed a few corkers there.
Yeah, oh yeah, mate, there's so many, but yeah, I'll remain professional.
So if you were to do this whole process, which I know is a bit of a cliche one, isn't it? A bit of a boring question, but if you were to do this whole process again, can you give me maybe a construction and just a general, like what if you had to do it again?
Knowing what I know now.
Yeah, yeah.
I was very naive at the time with regards to getting a planning application approved.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't realise all the hurdles that you would have to jump over. Just because it's your dream, that doesn't mean anything.
No.
Okay, with construction, we've spent a lot of money here on construction, and the costs of stuff that's buried in the ground.
Yeah.
Be totally realistic. Get your prices before you start buying land. You know, your cost of getting 3-phase electric in, your cost of sewers, your cost of water. You know, some of those are big costs.
Yeah.
You know, remember that you've got a massive outlay from the beginning. You know, because
it's going to be painful.
Oh, you know. Millions, you know. It's just in real estate alone here. We've got well over £3 million just sat in lodges and stuff. And then you've got your cost of things under the ground. So be totally realistic with yourself. You know, remember things do go up in value. Yeah. Labour is expensive as well. We've been very lucky because we've done all the labour ourselves.
Yeah, yeah.
For somebody who just thinks it's a case of buying a plot of land and putting lodges on it, that is not the case.
Yeah, they've got a bit of a wake-up call.
Oh, massive, yeah. You know, I mean, your costs, our laundry costs at the moment, over £8,000 a month.
Yeah.
You know, you go through a lot of laundry.
Yeah.
These little things you think, you know you're going to have that cost, but you don't quite realise how expensive it is.
Yeah.
And prices of everything is going up now because of the world as it is today. So, I'll make sure you do everything thorough, you know, because you will hit problems. Your electric supply to lodges, you know, we've done it in a way where every lodge is a separate supply.
Yeah.
But I've also put it as a supply that is bigger than we really need.
Yeah, to future-proofing.
We're future-proofing everything, you know. Electric cars are taking off.
Yeah.
You know, it will probably get to a stage where everyone will have an electric car. at the moment we have on-site chargers, which obviously you connect to an app and you can charge your car. At some point, it will probably get to a stage where there is a charger at every lodge.
Yeah.
Well, that's a massive effect on us with your power supplies and everything going in, you know. So don't just do it for now, do it for the future as well, because you don't want to then start digging your ground up to have to change things. Because with it being a holiday accommodation, guests don't like workmen on site. They don't like you coming on site with diggers. You know, it makes a lot of noise.
You have phased it, haven't you? So how's that been? Because obviously, just for context, it's been a sort of almost like a two-phased development, hasn't it? So how have you found that? Because a lot of people, if they are going to embark on this, will have to at some stage sort of navigate that.
What we've tried to do is do the work during quiet times. You know, so obviously winter is a major thing there. During winter, obviously, if you've got some lodges that are empty, what we tend to do is keep the lodges next to where we're doing the works empty. You know, or don't let people stay in those lodges so they haven't got that noise. You know, it's
just standards.
You don't want to come on holiday and start hearing an excavator firing up at 8 o'clock in the morning. You know, and we understand that, so that's why we basically, when we are planning for the next lot of lodges to go in, we work out where we can do it the next place with the minimal amount of noise to guests who are staying with us. You know, but that's why we also do what we do, and we've put extra ducts in the ground and everything for the future. You know, so we won't have to dig everything up again.
And last question. Where do you see the holiday market, UK? Obviously a lot changes, a lot of stuff going on. Where do you see it going in the next sort of 12, 18 months? Do you see it carrying on? Do you see a dip?
I personally think it's going to increase. I think a lot more people now are realising or can't afford to go abroad like they used to. I think the lodge park industry is going to start increasing further. I've noticed that anyway in the last 4 years. Hotels are definitely going a bit quieter. You know, people are getting together more in a lodge, and I don't think they mind. I mean, I know a lodge is self-catering, but to be honest with you, the amount of people, and I know this just by looking in our dustbins, you know, I see what waste there is on site. You know, you see the takeaway boxes, you know.
Just to confirm, Ian isn't rooting through the bins.
Not rooting through the bins. I wouldn't admit that anyway if I was. But these are the things I notice. You know, you start seeing, you know, you have a lot of waste on a lodge park. And people, obviously, they come away, and some people do a lot of cooking, but a lot of people don't.
Which is fair enough, isn't it?
You know, so for me, the lodge park business is, even though it has changed, like I said, for 3 and 4 day visits, it's definitely busy. One thing that we have noticed is we get a lot of last minute bookings.
Booking.
I mean, for example, we had a guest arrive on Friday, and they didn't even book that till 4 o'clock. And they were obviously allowed to come in by 3, so they arrived late evening. But you've got to cater. You've got to cater for the masses.
For the market, haven't you?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Honestly, I've been trying to get Ian out for a beer for about 5 years.
Well,
you stick a camera in his face, he's down here in his shop, new haircut, fresh. Honestly, I didn't recognise him when he got out.
No, I know. I didn't recognise myself this morning. I'm usually in my rigger boots, as you know. So, but it's been lovely to see you, mate.
Cheers. Spot on. Till the next time.
Till the next time, Till the next planning application.
Exactly.